Your feet are supported, your back. If you're sitting, I invite you to sit in a way that's upright, but not stiff. So we're not like totally gelled out unless that's what you need this morning. But we want to have this alertness in the body, like a majestic mountain, feeling the feet, feeling the back, just sitting in the dignity of who you are. If you're laying down, just inviting also a dignified posture as the body is supported by the earth. So now I invite you to close your eyes. If that's uncomfortable, you can keep them open and gaze softly at the ground or the table in front of you without a focus. It's a soft gaze. We're closing the sense doorways, particularly of sight. And that allows us, it deepens our capacity to go inward. So I invite you to bring attention into the body, moving it all the way down through the body to the feet, feeling the feet connect with the floor or the earth. For me, the front porch of this sweet little house by the sea. This feeling contact and sensing into the truth of you being supported in this moment. Taking a few deep breaths here as you feel that support under your body, the body being held. And now bring attention back up from the feet to the ankles, calves, to the knees, moving up through the thighs, the sits bones, and resting at the lower back. And sensing into the body from the inside out, the lower back. Noticing what's here, an ache, a pang, maybe it's just neutral. Just bringing deep attention into the body, moving up to the mid-back, bringing attention and awareness higher to the shoulders. Just feeling the entire back as a whole. Giving our backs the attention they deserve. Moving to the tops of the shoulders, dropping them a bit, softening them. Bringing attention down the arms, the left side and the right side. Feeling the hands, you might close the hands tightly and allow them to open. Doing that again. Feeling the aliveness in this body right here. Now bring attention around to the front of the body, the chest area. Resting awareness here. You might put one hand on your heart, the other on your belly. And just feel the body. Bringing mindful awareness to this body, this human miracle that's right here. Inviting curiosity, the second factor of awakening. What are the signs of life that are in your awareness right here? You might feel the rise and fall of the abdomen with each breath. Maybe you feel the chest expanding and falling again. What a miracle. Can you discern the beating of the heart? Really tuning in. Maybe if you're calm and relaxed, you won't feel it. That may be a good sign. You can experiment with touching the carotid artery in the throat, feeling that pulse of life. Just resting in awareness. And moved both hands on my heart area. And just sending love inward to this life, this human, this miracle of being born and making it this far. You might say inwardly, "Hello, dear one. I'm glad you're here. You're doing great." We're bringing awareness, curiosity, energy to this body, this life, allowing joy to arise. We're just creating conditions for what's natural and innate in us to come forward. If not joy, contentment with just this moment, just this present moment. Thich Nhat Hanh teaches us when we're breathing, when we're present, to say the mantra, nowhere to go, nothing to do. How lovely is that? This moment, present moment, wonderful moment. Right here. Deepening attention to the breath, feeling the body breathe. Nothing to do. Just allowing the body to be breathed in this moment by a life force, a field of loving awareness and energy much bigger than us. Just allowing that energy to breathe this body. Being aware of the inhale and the exhale. See if you can follow 2 full cycles of breathing. The in-breath, the out-breath, and the space in between the breaths. Body still and stable like a majestic mountain. Mind as calm as clear water. Just feeling the body, the mind settling, and the heart fresh as a flower, opening, receiving, sending. Body like mountain, mind like water, heart as fresh as a flower. Now I invite you to relax back, as if bringing attention away from the breath into the space just behind the eyes, center of the head and the back of the eyes, or it might be easier for you in the back of the head or above the head, just relaxing awareness and attention into a broader, wider perspective. And just breathing here, just experimenting with this idea of relaxing back. You can envision you're being held, which you are, by the vast field of loving awareness. And as you rest in this wider field, you might bring to mind anything that's troubling you this morning. or afternoon if you're listening at another time, or evening. And choose something specific. Might be a relationship, might be something with work or loss of a job. It might be recent news of what's happening in our land, our government, with our people, or news of what's happening in other lands. Just bring something that's really difficult. And stepping into that scene, that situation. And just recognizing, naming, this is really hard. This is so difficult. This is challenging. We bring mindfulness, we bring awareness to the life that we're experiencing. We don't push it away. We don't deny it, avoid it, suppress it, ignore it. We create conditions to be with what's here. You might deepen attention and notice the feelings or emotions that arise. It might be something to do with a parent or a child. It might be what's happening with a political leader. Just allow these feelings to be here. It's like you're expanding and creating a wider container, allowing it to be here. You might sense where you feel the emotion in the body. You might name it. We name it to tame it. Anger is here, or fear, or despair, or heartbreak. Maybe there's shame. Everything is welcome. And then we deepen attention, bringing in the second factor of awakening, curiosity. We investigate. What are the thoughts associated with the situation? What am I believing about myself, about another person? What am I believing about what's at stake with our planet, with certain populations? Just noticing the deep thoughts that are on the interior, allowing everything to surface. And then bringing in the question from our teacher, Byron Katie. Do I absolutely know that that's true? That thought that's creating suffering, that's creating separation, a thought that's creating othering, a thought that's animating blame, a thought that's resisting uncertainty. Just deepening attention. Do I know that that's true? Creating room for more spaciousness, other possibilities. And as we allow emotions, as we name what's difficult, as we acknowledge what we're navigating in this human form, collectively, individually, we can deepen compassion. Can I bring understanding? Can I bring kindness? to my own experience first. Oxygen mask on ourselves. Just acknowledging what you, in this form, this human form, this beautiful spirit, is experiencing. And then wider, what we are experiencing as humanity right now. Just bringing deep compassion, like a flood of compassion to that. You might put your hands on your heart and saying, right now, it's like this. We might ask, what do you need right now, dear one? What do you need right now? You might ask, what is mine to do? What is my step, my action? Just feeling all of that in this world, knowing that we are together. We are moving together. We are breathing together. The earth is alive. The wind is blowing. The trees are swaying. Leaves are falling. There's vitality and energy and beauty all around us and within us. By naming what's here, allowing it to be here, and then bringing compassion to it, we open the portal for calm, for deep ease, for moving with wise action, wise speech. My teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, teaches us to say this daily vow. You can say it in your own heart, mind, silently. Waking up each morning, I smile. 24 brand new hours are before me. I vow to see all beings with the eyes of compassion. As we close this meditation, I invite you to envision all of us together under this spectacular oak tree behind me, with her branches stretched very far on either direction as a big embrace, and we just sit at the base together, shoulder to shoulder, breathing together. This is how we move like a river in community and Sangha. Sending and receiving love as we walk each other home. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be safe and protected. May you be healthy and strong. May you have the resources you need. May you know that you are love. And may you live with ease. When you're ready, slowly opening your eyes. Taking a stretch. Welcome back. You can see I moved inside. I loved being outside, but I was getting a little chilly, even more than my coat and my blankets could handle. We can still see our tree though. Thank you, Roxanne, for your kind words. So let me take a glance through. Do we have everybody? So we're exploring the I'm in a series, and my writing over on Substack. Many of you are receiving that newsletter. I'm exploring each week the 7 factors of awakening. And the factors are really powerful. What I love about them is it's a roadmap for cultivating a mind, body, and heart that really allow us to live, our best way. I know we don't want to think about good, better, best here as in Buddhism, we don't compare, we don't rank, but there is a way of moving through the world in healthier states of mind that allow us to be with what's difficult with more ease, that allow us to see beauty and moments of awe and wonder and joy and just take that in, to even notice it at all. And so these qualities are a wonderful formula for cultivating a mind and heart and body. They're all integrated, that goes through life that in such a way. And the 5th quality, or the 5th factor of awakening, is tranquility. And I love the word tranquility. I think it sounds like a babbling brook or a little river moving down a stream moving down a mountain. Tranquility. And I also love the synonym for that, calm. I feel like this even the word, when I hear it, it just lands calm. And I explored in my writing what words are used by different teachers, by Jack Kornfield or Godrin, by Thich Nhat Hanh, and it's about 50-50, but my teacher Thich Nhat Hanh calls it calm. And in my book, The Mindful Day, I had to work really hard with National Geographic on what words we were going to put in the subtitle. And we chose, it's called the Mindful Day, but it's finding focus, calm, and joy. And so in honor of that intentional choice of the word calm, I thought, all right, I'm going to call this quality calm, because there's even something in saying it, that there's such a calm, I don't know, it just calms my whole nervous system. So I invite you to think about what word that works for you as you cultivate this relaxed mind in such a turbulent time. So right now, in this life that we're navigating, in this context of the political landscape, we're coming up on some very large protests in the United States next weekend, all over. We've got a lot of challenges with employment, with as many as our government is shut down currently, as we're in this class together. We have challenges of people losing their jobs. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety. And sometimes when we're in dramatic states of turbulence, challenge, and difficulty and uncertainty, it can feel a little bit indulgent. to be exploring factors like joy or factors like calm. It seems almost out of reach. And so that's why I do think it's more important than ever to carve out time in our morning to gather as a Sangha, to come back to this class again and again, to deepen our practice, to deepen our intention, to cultivate calm in the body, in the mind, and in the heart. So Thich Nhat Hanh, the Zen master, Vietnamese Zen master, says that with calm, our body and mind become light and at peace. He also teaches, peace within, peace without. And as we're in these times of so much change and fear and despair and anger, it's not that we are denying those emotions, just much like in the guided meditation, we skillfully moved into creating conditions for the hardest emotions to arise. So we want to allow all these emotions. And the way we moved into them was by first moving through the doorway of calm, by first generating tranquility and calmness in the mind and body. And then in that majestic mountain, opening up to allowing the deepest emotions to arise. Calm is a steadying force. It's a place of rest as the mind is churning, as the body is tightening, as the heart's racing, as tears are flowing, as the nervous system is very activated. These are all natural, physical, physiological responses to what's happening. If we weren't having those, then I would be alarmed. If we were only moving through these days with calm, with kind of a checked out detachment, that would be of concern. So these emotions that are flowing are signs that we are engaged, that we are paying attention, that we do care. Yesterday, I was in a full day retreat for meditation teachers. Um, it's a sangha that I've been in for many years, and many teachers here from CML were there, Center for Mindful Living, and we created this beautiful safe circle to be able to share our deepest emotions, our deepest despair. Our tears were flowing, tenderness was happening, and tenderness expressed openly with others. And this commitment that we have with each other to walk along month in, month out, year in, year out together, that creates a level of trust, a level of permission. It's a container of deep peace and calm. And so then calm becomes a quality that allows us the strength and capacity to dare to open the door to the emotions that we're wrestling with. So calm is not something that we are using as an escape to what's happening. Calm is a quality that we're cultivating to give us enough of a foundation, enough strength that allows our spirit to settle. It allows our emotions to have a place to come forward like a river and then settle the way a river will settle at the base of a mountain. Pema Chodron, the Tibetan teacher that many of us just absolutely adore, she's so wise, she's so skillful. She writes that the mind that is calm can open to what is without being thrown by it. And that is probably one of the deepest, most impactful benefits of a meditation practice, of cultivating mindfulness with practicing again and again and again, is having the strength and fortitude and capacity to be able to open to what is, whatever's here. That is really hard to do. I know for me, for many of my students and clients, people I work with, the everyday response is to kind of ignore what is, to create distractions, to work. Let me dive into work. I've got some emails to answer. Oh, I think there's a new show on Netflix I want to binge. Let me watch, what football game's on tonight. Let me clean. I'll be busy cleaning. I'll be busy doing anything but opening to what is. And so we suppress and deny and avoid. We cover over. We we spin things certain ways. And this creates so much deep pain and suffering, so much unease. This is the source of insomnia, of back pain, of tightness in the neck. I've been really struggling with a deep pain in my back, and I got home. I was traveling and for two different trips and 2 different weeks in a row, and I just got home Friday afternoon and rested and was on my back, did a lot of walking meditation, a lot of other meditation, was with my tree, and almost all of my pain is gone. And I thought, I was examining this, and I thought, wow, what's going on here? What was the true source of that pain? What was deep going on in the body? And so that's what happens when we don't open to what is. And I had to come to my land, to my ground, to the earth, walk barefoot again and go to this tree and breathe and just like really, really move into calm. And then things were unwinding and untangling. And then that deep source of wellness, well-being started to arise. So calm is both a natural capacity and a cultivated skill. We do both. It's an innate part of our true essence, our highest self, our true nature. I love that phrase, true nature. Pema calls it our bodhisattva nature. Calm is part of that. That's our birthright. But sounds like a contradiction, but it isn't. It is also a cultivated skill. It's a capacity to direct attention on demand with intention and make the choices to cultivate calm in the body and mind. Each of us have our ways. We each have ways that we've learned that will do that. And maybe some of us maybe know one or two that are in your awareness. Maybe if it's you sit quietly and focus on the breath and do mindful breathing or practice a body scan, or maybe a meditation that will work. Maybe what is it about me? How do I cultivate calm? How do I get back to calm that's innate in here? I'd love for you to enter in the chat, if you will. What is it that you do? Is it a movement practice? Is it yoga? Is it dancing in the kitchen? Is it taking a drive in a country road with good music? What are the ways that you calm the nervous system? Let me see. Slow, deep breath, yoga. Yoga is really a beautiful embodied practice of moving into different shapes. When we're doing that, we're getting attention out of the thinking mind into the body. Walking in nature is really powerful for me. Sitting outside, that's why I was outside for our meditation. I just, as much as possible, want to bring to you all that nature, the wind, the trees moving. So we'll look at the tree in the window. Journaling is so powerful. There is so much research about journaling and how that cultivates calm. The pioneer in journaling research is James Pennebaker, and it's just incredible the impact of writing down emotions and what we're feeling and how the biomarkers, the measures of stress, and the self-report of subjects changes dramatically when we journal. So thank you, Mo, for writing that because I want to make sure that as I'm preparing for this move on October 30th, that I'm journaling. Journaling is really powerful. And what we learned is writing down anything is very powerful. You can write down, I went to the grocery store today and I, folded laundry and I talked to my best friend on the phone. That's sort of like a diary or agenda. That is actually better than no writing. That will have an effect. But if we write our emotions, this is how I felt, this is what I was experiencing, that is very powerful. Tai Chi is so beautiful and powerful to do, or Qigong, the practices that allow our mind and body to move in motion. So, so incredibly powerful. And you can find those on YouTube. You can follow along. I practice Qigong and I haven't in a few years, so I think I'm going to get back to that. I teed all these up so you all can teach back to me. But I have a teacher in California named Teja Bell. He's a wonderful Qigong teacher. And it's also part of our, Qigong is part of our tradition and the tradition of Thich Nhat Hanh and Plum Village. When we practice together at Deer Park or Plum Village or Magnolia Grove, every day we do Qigong together as part of the daily routine. Short scan of the body to relax muscles. Looking at pictures my sister sends of birds. I love that. I love birds. Bird song. There's research now that bird song, listening to birds, will calm the nervous system. So you can step outside, you can go listen online. Listening to birds will do that. Seeing birds. Um, oh, beautiful, Cassie. You found a place in the Potomac to rent a boat. That is so wonderful. I've done that on the Potomac over in down by Georgetown. It's so wonderful. You can rent kayaks, taking a bath, listening to music, looking at art. Oh my God. Looking at art is a key practice for me to generate calm. Animals are so powerful. When we snuggle with a dog, and I'm reading all these out of the chat, you guys are amazing. When we even look at a dog and smile at a dog, both the human and the dog release oxytocin. We release the neurotransmitter that calms the nervous system and opens the heart. And I have been snuggling with my Max. The other thing was when I'm traveling, I'm away from my golden retriever and my sweet cat, Olivia. And I think part of also what deeply calmed me was being back on the land with the trees, with nature, and with the animals. It was so good. Walking with my dog, I love. Yes to everything, Kelly. Everything dog. So if you don't have a dog, please ask one of your friends with a dog if you can help walk their dog. That's always welcome. Or walk with them when they're walking the dog. We love companionship. It's a beautiful thing to do together. So we're talking about ways we generate calm, And I know that when we pay attention with mindfulness, we learn what is it that's regulating our nervous system. Conscious breathing, Thich Nhat Hanh says, when I'm in turbulence, conscious breathing is my anchor. So remembering like that in a body scan is taking when the mind gets excited and activated, it's darting all over. That's just the biology of the mind. It's scanning to make sure we're safe. It's looking, 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 looking. Becomes very excited. And so what we want to do is close all those open tabs and bring the mind to a single point of focus. Conscious breathing is my anchor. It not only um, brings the mind to that concentrated point, but we get the attention of the mind out of self-referential thinking. So when we feel anxious, we're thinking about ourselves. Did I do well enough? Did I do good enough? Do I have enough? Am I enough? Am I doing well? Where we get into anxious thoughts, cycles, and rumination about the moment and the future, or we're worried about the latest, the latest rollback, the latest budget cut, the latest policy decision, and the ruminating mind will start spinning. So when you notice that, we want to bring the mind to a single point of focus and rest. Conscious breathing is my anchor, says Ty. We talked about being in nature. Walking meditation is a beautiful practice. I love to do that. When I do it out here where it's not grass, it's like 15 different things growing out there in that front yard. And I just walk barefoot, noticing with each step what is growing underneath my foot, what is growing. It's like a miracle. Then I start getting curious. Then I start feeling energy and joy. The factors of awakening start unfolding. The first book I ever received when I learned mindfulness in 1995 um, was Thich Nhat Hanh's book, Peace is Every Step. And so I want to bring that to us today, this notion that accessing the calm part of our bodhisattva nature, cultivating calm, we know how to do it. And it's so important that in these times we are as committed to that as anything. We're committed to calming this body, this heart, this nervous system, because we are emanating that energy around with everyone that's around us. And so we've talked about these many ways to do it. Listening, listening to the wind as we did today, listening to bird song, listening to the hum of cicadas, they're still out at night. We can use music. I've been using music a lot. When I'm really struggling with something, I don't, sometimes I don't want to sit and meditate. It's too much to try to work with thoughts and letting them go. I want to have some type of support, and music will be that support. And I've been listening to this artist, Essie Jane, Jain, and she does beautiful music. One I love is, I think it's called Peaceful Meditation. It's like 12 minutes, and I listen to it over and over. I love it. Or the music of Yo-Yo Ma. I love cellos. Um, I love the piece Spiegel im Spiegel, which is actually a little melancholy. It's a little sad, but I will use that. It's a way of embracing the emotion and activating calm. And then the other piece I want to mention is sacred spaces and having, an altar or a little space set up outside, having sacred spaces, an altar, a meditation corner, a peace corner in your house, and just sitting there. You don't even have to do anything, just show up for yourself. But this fifth factor of awakening is unfolding with mindfulness, curiosity, energy, and joy. And it's something that we can cultivate. And we do that in community. the work of the neuroscientist Tanya Singer. She's based in Leipzig, Germany. She works at the Max Planck Institute, and she's one of the leading researchers on compassion and the power of metta and loving kindness. And one of her newest discoveries is the power of meditating together. We know that as a Sangha, we know that as a community, but when we meditate together, like we did today, when we gather together, it amplifies that capacity to calm, to settle. We feel safe. We're a tribal social species. So there's that piece, and we resonate, we regulate each other. So I encourage you to find times this week. You can go to our Center for Mindful Living calendar and find other sanghas, other times and sessions to practice this week with others. Invite your neighbor on a mindful walk. You know, as I said, offer to walk with a neighbor that has a dog if you don't have one. Invite someone over for tea. Invite someone to meditate. So there are many ways that we can cultivate calm in this time.